Whoop whoop, Scribbles a Juggalo. And this is episode number 3 of Look What I Found. I was doing this job for a guy here in town, this rich guy who buys all these properties and he fixes them up and resells them. And he had us move out all this shit in this small warehouse. And one of the things I found was I found some old books, which was pretty cool. One of which is this booze book from the 70s. And it's pretty cool because it is 70s shit, and it has all these recipes for drinks. And the way it's written is all 70s and shit. And it just has all the old 70s drinks, like fucking a screwdriver and fucking the graphics. The graphics are pretty cool on it. Little cartoon graphics. But anyway, I don't drink or make drinks. But it's pretty neat to have. I like saving retro 70s shit like this because it's interesting. And also, there were a bunch of cookbooks, old cookbooks and shit that I saved. I threw out most of it. You know, I just saved, basically just saved the old 70s stuff and the interesting stuff. One of which was not a cookbook, and it's not that old. It's only been out for a couple years. But it's called Barrey Fey's Backstage Pass. Not Backstage Pass, but Backstage Pass. And what it is Barrey Fey is a legendary Denver promoter who started out here in Denver, and he ended up becoming the largest rock promoter in the world, in the United States and the world, bigger than Bill Graham, who promoted the Grateful Dead concerts and did a lot of concerts. He actually became bigger than him and sold out more concert tickets than anyone in the world. But anyway, his story's in here. I don't read much, okay? With all the great television, you know, why would you want to read, you know? Honestly. It takes so much time, and I know that sounds ignorant, but, you know, oh well, I'm ignorant. But, I get a lot out of TV, and I'm selective what I watch. I watch a lot of Discovery Channel and History Channel and shit like that. It's interesting. But when I do, so when a book captures my attention, and I can't put the fucker down, it's something that I want to show off. And so basically, there's stories in here. It's really easy reading, too. I don't have to start in the beginning and read the whole thing. It's not a story. It's not a mystery. It's not a Dean Koontz or Stephen King book, which I've read, and I like a lot of Dean Koontz. But, well, I don't have time to read anymore. But anyway, it's easy reading because it's broken up into just different paragraphs and different chapters. Like when he met Axl Rose. That chapter is called Axl Rose and My 357 Magnum. And he tells a story in here about how he put on a concert here in Denver, a Guns N' Roses and Metallica concert. Metallica came out and did their set really good. And then Guns N' Roses, everything was going fine. Guns N' Roses came out and started Welcome to the Jungle. And then Barry's assistant comes up to him and says, Axl left. And Barrey Fey says, what do you mean Axl left? He got in a limo and he left during the show. And the audience is sitting there like, what the fuck? The band's on stage doing their thing. Like you know, is he going to come back? And they're playing for 25 minutes. And the crowd started to boo and get restless. They were even, Barry says in this book that they were even returning their Guns N' Roses shirts to the vendor and asking for Metallica shirts. Instead, they wanted a refund of their shirts. And so Barry, this is what kind of guy Barry is, and this is some of the stories in here. Barry gets on the phone to the limo driver and says, "You work for me. You don't work for Axl Rose. You don't work for Guns N' Roses. You work for me. I'm paying all you fuckers. Get that car back now, and don't stop unless Axl jumps out. Do not stop, and don't let him out of that fucking car." So Barrey Fey went to his car, his own car, grabbed his 357 Magnum, put it in his back pocket, and he got Axl Rose back. Axl Rose shows up. he had 2 Denver security cops escort him, and security escort him to the stage. And he put a cop on each side of the stage and his security in the back. And he says, he held the gun to Axl Rose. He says, "You're going to finish playing, or you're going to have to walk through this crowd. And if you walk through this crowd, I'm going to get on the mic and tell this pissed off crowd that you don't want to play tonight. You don't want to sing." So, basically having the crowd beat his ass. So he finished the concert. And that's an interesting story. But there's so many others about U2. He had a good relationship with Bono from U2. And he talks about Red Rocks. We're so lucky here in Denver that we have the best outdoor venue in the world, Red Rocks. And he's got stories about Red Rocks and stories about Stevie Nicks and The Who and hanging out with Mick Jagger. And it's a really good book. And I recommend it. You can get it online. I don't know if they sell it. I think they sell it at Tattered Books, but that's a Colorado store, but it's called Backstage Pass by Barrey Fey. Whoop whoop, Scribbles the Juggalo. I'm out.